Whoa, 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 whoa. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Warrior Wavelength. I'm Staff Sergeant Simmons.
I'm Staff Sergeant Cordimo.
If you have noticed, we are in a slightly different location today. Why is that?
OCS board.
Officer candidate selection is occurring here at the Richmond Battalion.
So OCS, officer candidate, is a process by which the Army determines who will and will not be selected to be a officer. Some of the requirements, it's you have to have a bachelor's degree, right?
Yes.
You have to pass an Army physical fitness test, which for enlistment, you don't have to. You
Not
do
required.
You do have to take what's called the OPAT. We'll get into that in another episode. But you have to be physically fit, you have to be educated, and you have to present yourself well. A panel of officers is going to look at you on paper, and they're going to look at you as a person. They're going to ask you questions about your character, your decision-making abilities. So it is definitely a rigorous selection process, but it's because these men and women are going to be in charge of a platoon of soldiers after their little amount of training. So you have to have that point of character already. But yeah, that's happening today, right next door. So we are doing it here in our office.
Oh, that's cute. Isn't that cute? So this picture here, we decided to use it as our centerpiece this week. It's a little throwback to when Staff Sergeant Cordima and I were on the color guard team for Richmond Battalion. So what you do as the color guard is you get in your dress uniform and you put your white gloves on and you present the colors that represent the United States of America, the organization that you're a part of. So for us it would be Richmond Battalion, as well as the Army. The Army has its own flag, as do all the branches. So the color guard is in charge of, and they take ownership of, the honor of those flags. So we take them out in a professional manner, we present them so that everybody can salute, things like that, and then we post those colors, and at the end of whatever ceremony it is, we retrieve those colors and take them back to where they can be safely stowed.
So one of the notable changes that is forthcoming is this transition between the APFT and the ACFT. So those are our acronyms for the week. The APFT was the Army Physical Fitness Test, which is the current test, and it's been the current test for the last 40 years, 20, 40?
Long time.
It's been a long time.
It's older than me.
Through the past few years, we've seen that we want soldiers to be ready for any combat situation, any scenario. So the Army is transitioning from the APFT to the ACFT, which is the Army Combat Fitness Test. We're going from 3 events to 6 events, which is pretty, it's a big change. It definitely requires stamina. We both have taken the ACFT. What did you think of the ACFT when you took it for the first time?
Me, I'm a big fan personally. I was never really a super big fan of the Army Physical Fitness Test. To me, you can't really accurately gauge somebody's overall physical fitness with push-ups, sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. As an infantry soldier, I've never done sit-ups or push-ups on any of my field exercises or deployments. Can't accurately gauge somebody's overall physical fitness based on push-ups, sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. Now, when we took the Army Combat Fitness Test, I definitely noticed a lot of the actions that we were performing as a measure of our fitness level were very closely related to something that I've actually done, be it in the field or on any of my deployments. It's a lot more accurate in gauging somebody's overall fitness.
So like you said, we went from push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run, and now some of the events measure your, more of your core, more of your leg strength. So what some of the events are?
You have the 3-rep max deadlift.
Yep.
You have a hexagonal weight bar with weights on it. You have to be able to lift it with proper form for your maximum weight 3 times. And that's how you perform that.
Then you have the standing power throw. So the standing power throw, I think, is the easiest of all 6 events.
It's the funnest, for sure.
It is definitely the funnest because you get to throw a 10-pound ball as far as you can behind you.
Most fun?
It is the most fun. I mean,
So for the standing power throw, you take a big medicine ball filled with sand, you just throw it behind you. That's all. Pretty easy. Then you got the hand release push-ups.
big difference between those and the push-ups we were doing is the push-ups we were doing were continuous. You keep going. You could stop if you wanted to. You could stop here. You could stop here. But with the hand release push-ups, you have to go all the way up. You have to come all the way down. Lift your hands up, put them back, and push back out. So there's no more of this. No more halfways, halfsies. You have to go all the way down, let go, and go all the way back up. So there's no interpretation as to whether you perform the push-up correctly.
You also have the sprint drag carry. The smoker.
It's no joke, people.
In my personal opinion, definitely takes the cake for being the most difficult event in this Army Combat Fitness Test. And what that is it 25 meters?
Yes.
20 meters? Either way, 20, 25 meters, it's a distance. Essentially, you have five times you have to go down and back from the start line to the end line. Now, your first and your last are just sprints. You just sprint down and back for your first one and your fifth one. But what do you do for the second, third, and fourth?
You drag and carry. So after you're done with the first sprint, you come back. You got a weighted sled. You got to drag all the way back down, and then all the way back to the start point. Then you grab the kettlebells, and then sprint again.
So either way, they're two 25-pound kettlebells. You have to pick up and carry them all the way down and then all the way back. We got 50 pounds, 45 pounds on the sled, or 60 pounds.
Somewhere in that range. We are not ACFT experts.
Heck no.
We're just telling you what we experienced taking it for the first time. We're part of the pilot program for the whole recruiting command. So we were some of the first in the Army to actually take this test. And I felt great. First couple events, I was like, this is too easy. Then I hit the drag. That
Sprint
drag
carry.
You might be able to run, but if you start dragging something heavy and you're walking backwards using muscles you don't normally use, you ain't gonna be okay, Haas.
So immediately following that, sprint drag carry, you'll go over to the leg tuck. And the leg tuck, it's not hard, it's just not familiar. A lot of people have never tried to touch their feet to their head or their knees to their elbows before, hanging from a pull-up bar. So it's something completely new in terms of testing your core strength. And for a lot of people, it's really a really big letdown.
It seems to be the one event that people struggle with. Having to integrate doing more pull-up exercises to prepare for that event is different. But I'll take it over sit-ups any day of the week. And in case that wasn't already enough, you still got to run 2 miles.
I've never had to all-out sprint 2 miles on my deployments either. But it is a good measure of your cardiovascular endurance. I will give it that.
And they did increase the amount of time that it takes to pass the 2 mile run, because they realized that after doing all these leg exercises and you still got to pass a 2 mile run, it's kind of unrealistic to expect us to still run at the same pace. Now, every event is scored based off of what occupation you serve in. So infantrymen, they have to score gold or heavy, which is the highest that you would have to score. But myself, I'm a maintenance tech. I usually sit at a desk all day and push buttons. So not so much. We're at the moderate. It's moderate, significant, and heavy. Those are the 3. We have the same scoring for the OPAT, which is the entrance test. We'll talk about that in another episode, just like I said before. But for every job, the Army realized that we don't need to have the same physical requirements, and it's not based on age anymore. It used to be.
Yeah, the equalizer. Nor is it gender discriminant.
Nope. That's a big move.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
super excited.
You can say all day long, all soldiers are soldiers, but now the Army's proven, they've been like, look, if you are a soldier serving in this job, this is the standard to which you will be held, regardless of your age, regardless of your gender. So that's huge. I'm really happy that they moved to that.
I knew it was coming because not too long ago they actually introduced every job within the Army to both genders, male and female. So, I think it was 4 years ago, they said females can do anything. So we started having female soldiers enlist for the combat MOSs that before that point they had not been allowed to. So at that point I was like, they are going to, at some point in the near future, change the physical fitness test in order to encompass all of this together, because the standards for grading males and females were very different with the Army physical fitness test. But like we said, the Army combat fitness test, it is a single score for a job. So if you are in that job, that's the score you have to get, regardless of age or gender.
Today's phonetic alphabet letter is C, which in the phonetic alphabet is Charlie, like that poor kid who had a grandfather that just sat in his bed for decades. But once the golden ticket comes out, now you want to jump out of bed. Seems like a big, long con to me. I'm just saying. So shout out to Charlie.
But not his grandpa.
No. His grandpa.
No shout out for grandpa.
I'm going to hold my tongue on grandpa. As per usual, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Go Army Virginia. We always post different interviews we have with soldiers.
Lots of stuff that we can't, because we don't have enough time, refer to on here. We have tons of stuff out there. And we're always open for suggestions. So hit us up on one of those forums and we'll respond. Maybe include something that you yourself suggested in our next video or something.
If you want more information, you want to get in touch with us specifically about information about joining the Army, text NE76 to Go Army. That is 462-769, and someone will get in touch with you, meaning us.
But do it fast, because supplies are limited.
So last week, we did talk about places where you typically don't want to have tattoos, the guidelines for enlistment and stuff like that. But we are accepting a lot more waivers for tattoos, case on case dependent. So if you have talked to a recruiter in the past, your tattoo might have gone a little bit past the wrist bone line, or you had tattoos back here.
Or maybe you were already told no based on tattoos you have, but your recruiter said, I'll keep in contact with you just in case things change, because things always change.
Reach out to your recruiter or reach out to us, because there's a very good chance that you may be eligible. And this is definitely something that is life-changing. If it's something that you still want to do, but you still have your tattoos, and that's the only thing holding you back,
act fast, because like I said, everything changes very frequently here in this business.
Yep.
As always, I'm Staff Sergeant Simmons.
And I'm Staff Sergeant Cordima.
Win every day.
To the top.